What's up, everybody? I'm sorry about the delay. I was doing a bit of mathing, and I was going through this. And let me change this camera. I was looking through. Where are you? What am I doing here? I was looking through this X-Men collection here, and I saw the price for this X-Men #1 that Jim Lee did. Ooh, I gotta change it. Anyway, for whatever reason, this one with the quad fold is $3.95, but the original price was $1.50. So I was doing some math, and I wanted to see how much they made because he sold over 8 million copies. Is that right? So I just wanted to see what that looked like. Ooh, that's not bad. 12 million bucks. One issue, 20 pages of art or so. Some of the best art you'll ever see in whatever year this was. Unbelievable. October what of 91. Anyway, I know this has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but you know, sometimes things like this just land in my coconut. So anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Art to the Round Table. Chiboli over here. My name is Mello. Today we're going to be finishing painting, or at least working some more onto this. I said it again. More on this painting of the Hulk. I'm going to have to close my shade. And yeah, so while I was doing this on Monday, I thought it'd be a good idea to do a lot more Q&A on this process. I know you guys may or may not use gouache, might be using acrylic or oil and stuff like that. So I figure if you guys have any questions, you can ask, and I'll mess around. So this would be a lot slower than my normal process. I usually just hit the ground running. But if you guys have any questions, ask away. DWT, good morning, drawing while talking. How are you? I'm good to see you there, man. Appreciate you, always. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me close my shade. Give me a second, guys. That's a bit better. I'll take that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to prep my next two pieces. While we're here. So why not? And this is a good way for me to not be afraid to paint, not put stuff so far in the back burner that I don't do it. What happens is that I'll get accustomed to the way this looks, and then I'll be like, well, that's the way it's supposed to look, and no, it isn't. It's supposed to be painted. So I'm going to put a wash on this. This is pretty old, but there's something about it that calls color to it. So I'm going to do that today too. I'm going to do these two. I'm going to set them aside, and then we'll just start working on this. Is that cool with you? That's cool with me. So, and like that, you guys end up seeing, even though I'm in the middle of a painting already, in the middle of the process already, I can still show you what I do in the beginning. All right, make sure that's good. I really don't have any. I think I'm going to use this one. I should probably use a bigger brush just so I can move across the paper or the canvas or whatever you're using. I do use every type of paper, but lately I have been gravitating to these artboards. What, let me see if I can use my words this morning. What once was a almost a very difficult medium to use because of the grit, and I like to draw, now has become more of a not just a creative challenge, but a welcoming one, a fulfilling one, and now becoming a process of my own. What was that gessoed already? The Hulk piece or any of these? And you know what? Neither of these have been gessoed. So thank you already. So what I think I might do, you don't have to. The acrylic is really good in covering. And there's been something going on with the gesso that I've been using. I don't think I did it to that one either. Let's just go for it. Enough talking. Let's get her did. So I'm just going to do a bit of this. This is burnt sienna, basic acrylic fluid. A little goes a long way, so I'm just going to do a little dab. No, not Doom. Yes, Doom. You got to do it. You got to do it. One, I'm just going to add some water here. That's going to help me. This is what I'm doing for the vertical viewers. A little bit of acrylic gouache. Oh my lord. Oh my, I'm lying to you. Fluid acrylic. Right. That's it. That's all it is. And I sprayed some water to dilute it. Gives it a really nice warm color. I'm curious what it's going to look like over the blues. Over the blues. What is it? Q Elton John. And that's why they call it the blues. I could gesso over this, but it may not be necessary considering, I need more water, how, because of the grit of the artboard is not necessary to gesso. It's already been protected with fixative. So why do I do the underpainting? What does that do or help? So the image I have in mind for this Doom, here we go, you guys ready for the bravery test, is you see how it beads? I'm going to answer your question, but you see how that beads? Because I don't have gesso mixed in here. So I might have to be a little bit rougher to get it in there, to get the pigment in. One, because it changes the temperature of the piece. It goes from a very cold to a very warm, and I wanted the painting to be warm. So this is what happens if you don't apply a gesso after your fixative. The fixative creates a waterproof barrier. So it creates that weird beading effect. Not weird, it's actually doing what it's supposed to. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to wait for this layer to dry and just keep adding several layers, or go thicker. So we can do that too. But I also want to control what I'm looking at. I don't want it to be too dark. I think on that Hulk piece that I'm going to be painting today. One sec. Arda THS, do I want to collaborate? That'd be kind of cool. I'm gonna see what you do. What you mean? What would you like to do as a collaboration? What kind of an artist are you? Would I would do a different color? Where yes. So I could have kept the the blue if I wanted to. I've done that before. I've used blue. I've used more of an earth tone. I think my color palette is more earthy. So I go for this version a little bit more often than not. And it's just the way when you're doing flesh tones and that type of stuff, this actually works a bit. It allows your eyes to see the realization of what you're doing a little bit faster. You can tell. I mean, it's not even. It's still so diluted. It doesn't even come up that much on screen. I'm gonna have to need more. I don't want to put so much though. But it's moving along. I'm okay with it. And it doesn't have to be too dark for it to be successful. A successful wash for me. It serves a couple of purposes though. One, changes the temperature of the composition. It also removes the fear the white canvas, fear the white page, that type of, if people go through that. And it also switches something in your mind, because I feel a lot of what I do is mental. It's comfort zone, comfort and routine. And doing this makes my mind at ease. It says to me, we're painting this. So switch from a penciler, switch from your inker's mentality, and put on your painter's hat, because this is happening. It's too late now to go back, which I like. I like that idea. All right. I don't care if it stains. How about we draw each other as Marvel characters? I don't know. It's interesting though. All right. I might end up doing a bit more, letting this coat dry and then go at it again, but that's actually not too bad. It almost pushes everything into one tone. But if I wanted to, I could then use a bit more paint and work on where I want the most of the shadows. You could do a lot of the preliminary stuff right here. So I'm gonna leave this here. Yeah, some people do it as a way to treat the canvas, DW, but I'm not. In the most honest sense, I'm not a traditional painter. I'm not a what's the word I'm looking for? A natural painter, right? Is something that I would love to. I still consider myself a painter, because I do paint, right? That's like, which is kind of weird. You don't consider yourself a mechanic just because you do your own oil change. But yeah. All right. So we did this without gesso. Let's do the next one with gesso. I'm going to set this aside so it can dry. Arta THS. You can check me out on Instagram. I'm gonna add gesso on Instagram if you like. Here, I'll put up all my socials here on the main screen. Where are you? If you can see that. Here's I use either clear gesso. I prefer this gesso. It has tooth to it as opposed to this one. This is also a clear gesso. You would never do an oil change on your own? Yes, you will if you needed to. I bought this because it was least expensive. It really does work. I like it, but it's as a smooth finish. Because I'm used to the tooth, I would use this gesso on paper, on mixed media paper, on smooth Bristol, so that it can give me the toothiness that I like from working on canvas. So I can drag the paint from my brush. Without it, just how that Dr. Doom canvas was beading, if you don't use it, then you're kind of fighting yourself. Where's my container? And this smooth surface gesso leaves smooth texture. It leaves a weird shininess to the paper that I don't know if I like or dislike. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the texture one. I got an idea. Hey, Arta THS, Mello Morero is on Instagram, or if you go back to the other screen, you can check out the stuff there. My link's there. Here, I think this will be too small for you to check out. So while I here, do that. Bam. Now I'm undecided. What do you think I should do? They're both clear gesso. Should I go with the smooth? Considering it's not going to matter because this is not as toothy. Or should I go with the Liquitex? You know what, let's do this one. And what I'm going to do, what I don't like, is that you really do have to go and clean your brush pretty quickly. The gesso does mess up your bristles. Let's see if I can schmoisen that. Have I ever made my own paint? I have not. I have not made my own paint. That's actually kind of cool. I think my daughter did in a class. Okay, I gotta make sure that it's clear gesso because both containers look alike. All right, so I'm just gonna get a little bit of, because I'm mixing it on the gesso, I'm using a smaller drop than I did. And you can even dilute this some, which I will. I might need some more, but it's all right. everything is a discovery, right? All I ended up doing is creating a puke color. So that didn't help. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just grabbing my gesso here, straight from the bowl. And all of these things, all of these steps are steps that I've like fallen into and saw other creatives do it and say, I wonder if that'll work for me. One of the first challenges that I experienced with with gouache is that you can't really use it on everything because it is a water-based medium. And its strength is in its layers, and its strength is in its pigments. So when I was unsure of my blending and my working with it, I would use a lot of water. So when I first used fixative to go over my pencils, I freaked out when I put my first layer of gouache on it, and all it did was bead right off the page. And I'm like, well, that sucked. All right. But as they say, success breeds routine. So fixative works to keep my pencils in place. The gesso makes the next part, if I'm going to paint it, makes my paints sit on top better. And the acrylic gouache helps my initial paints not get muddy. Jay Neal, how you doing? Yeah, this underdrawing is Shitara. This was one of the first drawings I did on artboard that I liked, that I kind of like went the heck with it. So, and I was like, that's successful. I wish I would have measured it a bit better, but I kind of like the idea of this larger than life character. So, you guys give me one hot second. I'm going to keep this on the screen. I'm going to wash out some of this stuff just because gesso is almost like an adhesive. And if I don't clean this stuff off, it's going to be a bear later to take care of. I still got some schmutz in here. It looks so gross. That's not really the color that I intended. I was hoping for a more burnt sienna look. But that's all right, because when this dries, I'll just do another layer. Fluid acrylic on it. No harm, no foul. Bob's your uncle. But I'm just trying to use up this stuff. Waste not, want not. I'm just going back and forth to try to... I'm not trying to be precise. I don't care for that much, but I'm just trying to spread out as much of the excess stuff as possible. And then when it dries, I'm going to show you guys how shiny it is. And I don't know if it's off-putting to me. But what it does is that while you're painting, in my case, as I'm painting with gouache and it has a matte finish, as you move the paint around, It's the pages that you haven't, the part of the paper you haven't painted on has a weird, shiny, glossy look and is off-putting to the eye. All right, put that there. Sip of Joe. Give me a hot second, people. I appreciate you. Appreciate the patience. Yeah, that came out, that's an ugly color. Not what I intended, but you know what? That's cool. I'm just going to set this aside. This is what Doom is looking like. Not too bad. I think this color's fine. I don't think I'm going to add any other layer. I don't think I'll need to. You guys don't need to see me here. Yeah, Jay, you like the forward leg. Yeah, she got tons of ties because she's a cheetah. She'd be hauling. One of my cartoon crushes. Cartoon crushes growing up: Chitara, Lady J, the Baroness, because I'm naughty. Gem from Gem and the Holograms. I think I was digging the Misfits a bit more than the Holograms. All right. Also, one thing I love about acrylic is that it dries fairly quick. And this thing is already ready for me to jump on it. I'll be working on this maybe next week if you guys want, or that Chitara, or we'll do something new. We'll go from here. All right, let me show you guys what we're working on today. So that's the process. That is the steps minus the fixative part that you guys wouldn't have seen because I got to do that outside. Fixative is just a pretty noxious smelling spray. It's hairspray for your drawings. But it's amazing. I use it to lock in my pencils on anything, even if I'm just not going to paint it later. I use a lot of rubbing and I do a lot of gradations that way. And it's a great way to lock in the stuff that you have in place. And I'm a smudger. I'm right-handed. I smudge. I usually draw from, even though I'm right-handed, I usually draw from right to left. I don't have that mental acuity of going left to right so that I can preserve my line. I don't care. I'm all over the place. So this is the whole. This is what we're doing today. On Monday, I did some of the background. I did the title, the wall, some of the flim-flam, and I still have my palette here. It's been sealed in here. And as you can see, not too bad. It's still wet in here. So this paint is still good for me to use. You can still see the shininess on some of these. Gouache dries up pretty quick. As I always complain about in my room, is dry. I got the fan on, it's warm. I live in Florida, so what are we gonna do today? I'm still questioning myself on how I'm gonna do that green, and I don't want to add too much to this palette, so let's not do that just yet. But I may not have a choice, so if we want, we can still keep building on the energy around him. I want to add a little bit more pop around that energy halo. I want to add some more effects before I start adding to the figure. I'm going to be using some, this is the reference I'm using, by the way. Okay. And you might not be able to see a lot of those details just because of the size, but it got some nice red Kirby crackle. Every circle of energy is a Kirby crackle, okay? No matter what it is, no matter where it is, it's Kirby crackle. So I'm going to add some of the stuff around that blast halo. I have some blues, and I can start adding in some of the paint around the leader. So with that said, let's do that. Where are my brushes? I don't use a lot of complicated brushes. How you doing, Saboteur? I got the link for the big screen pinned if you wanna switch over. I primarily use flat brushes and round brushes for blending. The tricky part for this, I know, is going to be green. Green is very can be extremely overpowering, but I don't want to get there just yet. So let's work on the stuff in the back while I still have it in my palette. So I'm gonna add some of that beautiful bright orange, and you see, not a lot of, I didn't have to use any water, just moisten my brush, mixed it in, and we're good to go, man. That's one thing that's been an absolute game changer for my painting process recently. I don't have to be continually adding water to my palette. I'm not gonna do that. There are some line art details that I'm not sure if I'm gonna add there. Watercolor by McCraw. It's good to see you. So today it's really just going to be about layering over the stuff I already laid down, and see from there. And I've been singing the praises of this wet palette because of the nature of gouache, because it is a water-based medium to activate it, to get it moving and flowing, and it's always alive, meaning it'll always blend with the color underneath if it's gouache. But the less water you use, the less likely it will be to activate the colors underneath. One of the things that was really frustrating early on when I was teaching myself how to do this stuff is muddiness of my colors. Which is, I mean, it's the nature of the gouache. Sometimes you will get mud. And maybe there'll be a way to prove it to you guys. This first layer was done on Monday, so a couple days ago. I still have a little bit of moisture and pigment on this brush. So what I'm going to do is I want to darken that outer part of the laser beam. And if I continue, if I just keep going back and forth with my brush, it will bring up that yellow that I already laid down 2 days ago, and it'll blend in. It'll be cool if you want to do gradients. That's the one cool thing about it. But I actually want... And the one thing that you have to remember with gouache is that dark colors dry lighter, lighter colors dry darker. So although I'm looking at this and going, oh brother, did I mess it up? Did I potentially add too much? It'll dry, it will dry lighter. El Barbero. Good morning, sir. It's one of the things you can't do with watercolor. Watercolor, you have to be a bit more strategic and kind of know what you want to do. As my fellow artist there can attest to, you got to really kind of plan before you start messing around and get all your lights in there before you even try to get tones of darker pigments in. Unless you're brave, which I'm not. Now when it comes to watercolor, I have no control and just I let it guide me. No cartoon crushers when you was growing up? Bruh. The princess from Voltron? Alright, so that's kind of funny, messed me up. The stilt legs of the leader are definitely a lot brighter, more bluish, greenish, almost glowing blue. So I'm adding this dark color so that I can put in a lighter blue in the inside to give it a little bit more depth. Now I could just go and do the outside edges as if it was my line art, and we're going to try it here. Painting for me is one of those things that is never set in stone. I'll rephrase that. You need to have a structure. You need to have not principles, but you need to have your A's and B's about painting. You need to know the rules a bit so that you can break them. Or you can go, I don't know if I want to do it that way. I want to be a little bit more creative in the other sense. So I don't always have a set way to paint. One, because I haven't been doing this for forever. But I don't want every painting to be the same. I don't want to be cookie cutter in my art. I want it to always be evolving. It looks like I'm going to need to go lighter. Let's see if we can do that. I want to find a color that matches that I don't have to. Let's see if that'll work. The one thing about Arteza paints, they don't tell you the color of it on the tube. Only on the box. This paint I laid down, that blue, is still kind of wet. So I should be able to layer this and still try blend it if it becomes too unwieldy. But it looks okay. I kind of dig it. So now I'm going to be adding some segments in here, and now I don't have to do any of the line work. Cheating. What's up, Jay? I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Jay. Good morning. Oh, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. We have to, right? We have to evolve. There's certain painters for comic covers that I've been studying. I don't want to emulate their work, but I just want to see how and why. I want to kind of like, I'm trying to reverse engineer the stuff that I like to see if it works for me. And some of it does, some of it doesn't. But the one thing that I appreciate is that none of my pieces for me feel the same. And that might feel or sound weird because everything you hear from gurus or art, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking for. For the people that end up trying to help people in their career, but it's not. They try to help you more in your state as an entertainer than they do as an artist, in my opinion. So the people that say, "Oh yeah, find the niche and stick to it," I say don't listen to them. Paint whatever you want. If you was to stick to a single niche in everything, is it a niche? Niche? How do you guys pronounce it? Spell it out. Is it like niche? CH, right? Niche? Anyway, if you was to do that in anything else in life, if all you ever watched was romance movies or horror movies, you'll miss out on everything else. If you only watched or read spy novels, you'll never feel the oomph of a romance novel. Kanish. No, I'm just kidding. If the K is silent, does it have to be in there? Put two N's. Come on. That's so funny. But yeah, like for those that push the stick to one niche and do it, those are YouTube artists. Those are niche artists. Don't be a niche artist. Do everything. As I say that. One thing that I will be changing, or not changing, but kind of like do more of, is I think drawing on artboard is going to be my way to go. I love paper, but there's something lately about drawing on these artboards, these stiff, that's been really satisfying. And unique. I get interesting results. Oh, too much water. How do I get too much water in here? Sorry they get quiet. I put too much water on this brush, and you can immediately tell the difference. You see how it's just kind of like washed out and just unpigmented, and it has the wash underneath pulling through. I don't want that. So now I gotta wait for that to dry and then reapply it. And mess up the whole process. With the artboard, you can totally wipe parts away and start over like oil painters do. I need to get some. You can't do that really with oil, yes. I don't know if you can do, if we might have to try that with gouache. I think that if I was to wet it, I don't know if I'll be able to wipe the whole thing down, but now you got me curious. That's dangerous. This is that's a good question. I think it's canvas artboard. Let me see if I can find one that's not open. I don't think it's paper, but it could just be heavily textured paper wrapped around a board. Whatever they use to make this stuff, but where was I? That way. Does the gouache reactivate with water? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a reason why I say that it's alive, because today, 5 hours from now, 5 days from now, 15 years from now, if I put a little bit of water on this, it'll reactivate. It's a little scary, unless I treat it. But if you don't, it's always alive. And I've actually seen a artist on YouTube pull out an old painting, an old illustration she did, and some old dried up gouache in a cup, added water, and she was good to go. This might be the medium for artists who can't commit. What's up, Ike? All right. So let me see here. I do kind of miss painting on paper. And there's nobody like telling me not to. It's just been one of those things where you gotta go with what feels natural, what good right now. All right, let's see. Doing a little bit of dibble dabbles here to emphasize crackle power without really putting in the work. Art of THS, you have DM'd me? Awesome. When first chance I get, I'll check it out for you. Right now I'm gonna keep doing this here. But yeah, thank you, and I'll definitely check it out. The Ike. It's good to see you, Ike, man. I hope you had a fantastic day. I think my recent painting on canvas and my latest drawing on canvas is kind of maybe the catalyst of why I might stick to artboard, and I'll show you guys in a second because I think I may have gone overboard a bit. All right, let's see. For you artists, I say young artists a lot sometimes, but I don't mean young in age. Just young in your career, I guess, in your journey. If you're messing with a medium that you're not comfortable with and you're kind of learning it and you're getting frustrated, try to draw something or paint something that you really don't have to wrap your brain around. Like I do with these comic pages and these things. I'm not trying to say that it's simple. I'm not trying to say that at all. You still have to do some work, but what this does for me, it allows me to live in a world that's comfortable for me. Comics and graphic novels and pulp covers, that stuff is comfortable for me. So doing an homage cover or doing a recreation cover keeps me in my comfort zone of the stuff that I like to do. And I'm not really focusing on realistic color match. Like I'm never gonna be able to. Maybe I will in a couple years or so. Match the colors on this page. I'm using this as my example just because this is what I'm working on. But that's okay. It keeps me grounded. I'm still blending and mixing colors that I would not have done so on my own, I don't think. And it's also putting in your head ideas for the future. Ideas and practices for the future. And it gives you some muscle memory to fall back on, to build that comfort level. Now, give me a second. Let me check out what's going on in the chat here. Everybody said hello to Ike, which I appreciate you being here. And Tama and DW and Sabo and then Barbero and Art of THS. And Tama says, I'm just trying to get my life back on track after lots of major, huge distractions, some doggone human illness going on. Yeah, I'm so, I remember watching, I think it was a live when he was talking about your pup. I hope he's doing better. I know he was doing better from chiropractic, a little chiropractor action, which I can use, man. Does that dog doctor do house visits? Shoot. All right. Yeah, I tell you what, there's something that I was dealing with on Monday. And just so we won't go all in that direction, but you already know, and I constantly mention this, the devil is a liar, and he got no other job but to make our days miserable. He tries to, period. And the only thing I could come out of that when he was messing with me on Monday was that I must be doing something right for him to be bothering me today. So I thank God for putting me through and allowing me to go through certain trials just because I know I'm on the right track. It's a weird way of thinking, but it helps me immensely. Let's just move my reference. What a dingus. So it doesn't, faith and having a faith-based relationship the way we do does not prevent bad things from happening. Sometimes it feels like it's a magnet for it. But I just know and always know that I'm never alone during those issues and those trials. So there you go. And so what I'm doing, so I'm layering more stuff in the background. I don't want to get too precise, as you can see. It's not very pretty, but it's all good. I'm trying to emulate the energy going on back here. And adding those darker colors will help these energy blasts kind of like stand out a bit more. One of the things that I was experiencing with this piece, because I used burnt sienna as my underpainting, all of the energy stuff is warm colors, yellows and oranges. It started to blend in. You can see it kind of like blends in. All of this is going to pop something fierce the moment we start adding the dark and the greens on the hook. So I'm not too worried about appearances. It's a what is it? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Have you guys, as creators or just people that love to draw and are doing the thing and paintings, have you guys gotten any type of advice from people you follow or watched lately or in the past? Any art advice that you go, oh hell no, that's not gonna work? Or tried it because of them and go, what? I'm just asking because I hope I'm not that guy. I hope I'm not that guy. I've been watching a lot of these competition shows. I think I mention it almost in every stream. Either it's landscape or it's portrait artist, and there's some techniques that I've seen them do, and I'm like, how did they come to that? What brought them there? One thing I noticed from a lot of the artists, a lot of the younger artists, I think also, is an amateur artist. When they painting a portrait, a lot of it is from a tablet, a camera, an iPad, an iPhone. Or even a computer, they bring laptops. Having the sitter there, I find that fascinating. Drawing a person was trying to draw something as realistic or proportionate is difficult, but and they don't get looked at oddly. It is a practice. So I wonder if there's a community of artists out there that hate on tablet users and grid users the way some amateur artists online and on social media jump on their high horse and critique how people do art. And I'm not talking about AI stuff. I don't care about that. The one trend I started seeing recently is honestly, I think a lot of what's going on in the art community is clickbait, is engagement bait. I don't think the complaints, and I don't think a lot of the stuff that's happening out there that's getting traction is from artists. I do know and feel the AI stuff some of it is from artists. Because there's a lot of blowback to professional artists that do good stuff, and people are saying, is that AI? So I understand that. Now we've come to the stage the age of show me. Show me. Everybody show me. Show me your work. Show me how you did that. And art's a very, very private thing. The stuff that we are able to do online, us streamers and us that do it on lives or as demos, we are, in my opinion, showing you our home. These are our babies, no matter how bad or how new we are in this journey. You know, you gotta respect my home. And I think there's artists out there who are utter professionals, who are talented to no end, that are being asked, is that real stuff? But anyway, I almost forgot what I was talking about. It was advice. It was the no tablet, no reference. Oh yeah. So that's what I heard. I'm going through weird strings of consciousness because I'm kind of like falling into a groove here of a repetitive motion of dab. And these are kind of like, I wonder if we suffer shower thoughts while we're painting. Because there's nothing else, right? There's a stream of consciousness of doing something, and then... Alright, let me see. I think... Gyro and Cairo is a gift, yes. Cairo and acupuncture. DW says, I think mainly when things I try that don't work out, that I have seen others succeed at, that was another part of the process missing that I don't understand yet. Yeah. Yeah, brother, when somebody says, hey, try C, and they completely bypass A and B, they go with the, what? What? Like when it came to washes, like underpaintings and things like that, and what type of mediums to use, things like that, and some of it was trial and error, some of it is following the steps without really knowing why. Most of it really was for me to get the fear of the white canvas more than temperature. The temperature stuff came afterwards. Oh man, I can put blue back there and it'll change the temperature or makes it moodier. Or I can change the feeling of my painting because I put a warmer color in the background, and look at how alive this face looks now, and how different the atmosphere feels now because there's a warmer background than there was originally. You know, all that stuff comes with trial and error. Because a lot of them will say, "Oh, I do underpainting because," and then okay, cool. But why did we come to that conclusion? Most pro painters, those who attend the atelier schools, definitely frown on the using photo reference and not painting people live. There are some good. Yes, and I don't think the reference versus the photo versus the sitter. It is 4 hours, and unless in terms of the competition and what I'm watching and why I brought it up, it is 4 hours. I think that's tough. And a lot of these people that are join that competition, they are judged to enter based on a self-portrait. Well, unless they're going to be standing in front of that same mirror for 20 hours, 16 hours, 8 hours, they're going to use a photo. They've already come in comfortable using that method, in my opinion. There's some you can tell they use a mirror. There's some you can tell use technology. Here's something that I started to see when it comes to technology, and I'll mention it after I read your next post. And then you says, and I agree, painting publicly is such a new thing. People watching while we make art is kind of crazy. Yeah, if you think about it, it is. You know, and I was always that dude, because I was quiet. Whenever I would see somebody draw, I always gravitated or kind of like sneaked a peek. Like that's weird. As an artist, I'm okay with that. I think people that paint outside have a way of ignoring the world that I can't. I feel eyes. I feel all the eyes. I don't understand why. My mom encourages me now, go paint outside. Grab your stuff. Go to the beach and paint. And I'm like, but what am I going to paint? Wolverine coming out the water? She goes, it doesn't matter. I love my mama. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're painting. Because if you want to build your brand, if you want to build who you are, so she's in the business side. She's like, be successful, make money, not get rich, but she knows this is something that I've been wanting to do since I was a sprite. So that's how she encourages me. Stop being afraid. Get out there. God didn't make people to be not cowards, but to fear. Fear is not a godly thing. You know, have God be with you and show people what you can do. Be proud of what you can do. So I always thought that was funny. I'm not gonna draw the Hulk sunbathing. She goes, if you have to. if you have to, who cares? But do something outside. And I'm like, that's funny. I might have to try it. That's a skill set that I do not have. We could all do this. What you do at home, we can do it outside. It's not like there's a barrier of no art. As soon as we step out our homes or our comfort areas, we walk through the bubble, the art bubble, and all of a sudden we can't hold the pencil straight. But I don't think that's it. I think it's the is it the way the world judges? Is the way the people always scrutinize? Is it the way that there's always someone behind you? Oh, it doesn't look like that. We can hear that. We can hear that pin drop of a comment. Oh, that doesn't look like Charlize Theron. The moment you start, that doesn't look like that. Well, who asked you? I would like to know the person who asked, and I don't want to be that person. I'm not driven by what people think, but it's so loud sometimes. And now it's just such a weird thing being an artist. Being an artist is weird. It's weird. But it's great. all at the same time. So yeah, Mom Dukes wants me to go paint outside. All right, so what was I thinking? Oh, the tablet. So I've seen this already. Two different artists using the same technique on a landscape and a portrait. They would take a picture, they'll take a photograph on their phone, and then on their phone they would put it through a filter or polarize it so that the colors aren't as detailed, right? Like if you was to take a picture into Photoshop and kind of like add some filters to it to, I don't know what's the word. Yeah, polarize it. So the colors begin to break up. And then they paint that. Well, are you no longer painting the landscape? You're painting a photograph that you manipulated. It's not an argument that I'm making. It was just kind of like a thought. Like, well, are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? I don't know. It was just a weird thought. But I'm like, well, it's still art. They're still doing it. So I couldn't come up with an argument. I don't come up with arguments or champion for people. You are there. You're doing your thing. I wasn't too sure if I was going to use white for the highlight, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I need to put some white around the Hulk here so that he can start moving out of that background. I'm going to try a different method to painting this Hulk. And I say that, oddly enough, while I'm looking at reference. So this isn't an original piece, but it's an original painting. And there's 3, 4, 5. What would be the average artist or viewer that goes, well, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Anyway, I just thought, if you guys have any thoughts on that, share it. I'd love to hear what you think. Read what you think. And it's only because everything we're dealing with as artists now, and please stop me at any point and ask me about the process, ask me about my paints, ask me about these cheap old brushes that I got, whatever you need to ask. That's what today is for. Part demo, part Q&A, part workshop. If you're curious how something gets blended or how something gets laid down, I was going to start talking about how I'm going to paint. I think this is what I have in my head and why I'm kind of like going to paint him last is I don't know how much blending I'm going to do on the figure. As you can tell from the reference that I'm using, it's a pretty deep gradient and it's very well done. I don't know if I want to do that because I did that with all the different parts of the painting, the background, the energy blast. So I'm curious if I'm going to paint him more in a tile way. So I'm trying to figure out. That's something that I'm trying to figure out as I go. The brushes. I opened my mouth. These are very inexpensive brushes. I only have 2 coveted brushes in my collection of brushes. 2. And I don't use them to paint. I use them to ink. They're Winsor Newton Series 7 hoity-toity brushes. Those bad boys are the Doc Holidays of inking. and I only have two because I can only afford two. Two small ones, a number 2 and number 3. Because Winsor Newton thinks artists have deep pockets, and we do not. But yeah, these are a collection of round brushes. I'm always trying to find stiff brushes. I think gouache works best with stiffer brushes, and unfortunately, with the way my bankroll is, my wallet, I gotta get cheap brushes. So that's that. But it doesn't mean cheap is bad. Doesn't mean inexpensive equals cheap in quality and nature. These are Artist Loft. Who does Artist Loft? Michaels. This Gen X art. Yeah, Gen X art. It was a set of 20 from Amazon. I get them from all different sizes, and I end up using just the smaller ones. But these have been my jam. Usually square and angled. And how I determine what I'm going to use them for. So it depends on my comfortable and what I'm trying to do uncomfortable. What's up, Omer Glitch? Omer, how you doing, brother? If I want to be a bit more precise, if I want to treat what I'm about to paint as an inking or something where I can just concentrate, I use the round brush. If it's something that's broader than it's a square, most of this has been done using my flat and my filbert. Filbert is just kind of like a flat brush with a rounded edge. And I use this for blending, mainly blending organics, mussels. But you did see me use it on the blast here. So, but that's it really. Let me see what else I got. I don't discriminate with brushes. Hold on. Oh, brother. It's in here somewhere. All right. So, This is one of two. This is my number 3 Winsor & Newton brush. So when I do inking, my black inking on my pencil drawings, this is what I use. I don't have the patience right now to use nib pens, but my boy Ike there is nasty with the flat parallels. I didn't buy that parallel pilot pen, Ike, because I have this nib that I'm gonna try. I gotta try the stuff that I have yet because I gotta. Beautiful watercolor brushes. I think these are like squirrel or otter brushes. I don't know. Who used this? An artist, Saya. I forget her last name. I'm terrible with names, and I'm terrible at watching other artists with expensive tools, and then I buy them and never use them. So that's why I try to encourage frugalness. Be frugal. It's okay. It's okay to be frugal. The problem is that sometimes you buy something that's expensive and you don't use it because of your knowledge or your comfortableness. And you go, well, I don't want to make it bad. I don't want to make bad art. This, that, and the other. Okay, so this bad boy looks nice. These are the King Art Finesse Premium brushes. I thought that this would be a really good substitute for the Winsor & Newtons. It isn't. It's too soft. It might be better for painting, which I haven't tried yet. Same with this one. I was hoping for stiffer bristles. Never happened. These are beautiful watercolor brushes. I use these to do washes sometimes. If I want to use my gouache, like watercolor, for my backgrounds and let it be a little bit more chaotic and pool up, my first layers are with these brushes. These things hold a lot of water. They're Gouache squirrel brushes. I saw, who is the name of that painter? I don't follow her anymore. I don't think I do. Ugh. Anyway, is an amazing watercolor artist, and she uses brushes like this. She has her own brand now, and I can't afford her brand, so I got these. These are great. I got a series of several of these. But yeah, right here, man, my Gen X art. My Gen X art has helped me through countless paintings. It's what I use the most, except for they don't really have a very good round brush. I use the round brushes for line art, especially when I'm painting. And these are only used specifically for painting, unless I'm doing an ink drawing and I need a big swatch of black, I'll use it. But other than that, and that's not it. I got these boys. I got so many of these that they become ornaments in my room. Like I don't know. I bought these. I think you guys may know what these are. Royal and Lang nickel, which I think is Walmart. But when you don't know, you buy everything and you try everything, which is basically what I've done. And then you slowly gravitate to the ones that do the best work for you. Tama, these Gouaches, they're inexpensive. You can buy a set of 4 of several sizes. I got some beautiful red ones and beautiful black ones. But I don't do watercolor anymore, but I do bring them up. But they absorb so much water, they're amazing to use. So, to go back to DW's question, how do I choose which brushes to use? And the first part of the painting, I try not to be too precise, so I use square and flat brushes like these, depending on the size of where I'm going to be painting. Like these cloud, this cloud, this smoke I did here, I used a flat brush. It does really keep you grounded. It keeps you focused on being a little bit more loose and experimental. So big brushes early, smaller brushes after. But I try to avoid it. I like to do, I think I over blend my paints. I did that early in gouache to hide certain things and to, I think there's a weird I want to be a painter, so I need to blend it. But you want to, what I've seen mostly from the stuff that I've studied is a lot of painters, old school painters, say, don't starve your paints. Let them show. What's the point of putting red up there if nobody's going to see it? Plop that red up there. What's the point of putting blue if nobody's going to see it? Plop that blue. Let it show. You paid for it. Let people enjoy it. I'm like, that's a great way of thinking. do all of your personal stuff, all your quiet stuff for you. What else? And then these are my Hemis. These are the first brushes I had got on my Hemi. They came with my Hemi set. I don't even use them anymore. But yeah, man, I am frugal, man. These Gen X art, these are dope. I think there was 20 in a pack. Several squares, several angled, several filberts, several, all of these. I think it was 4 different brushes, 5 different sizes. These were all round brushes. This collection, I think it was 10 of them, all round of several sizes, because I wanted to do some line art, some line work. But you know, I say this stuff to you guys like a like a parent talks to his kids. You don't have to do that because I already made those mistakes. But you're still gonna buy the brushes you want, and that's cool. You're gonna spend the money on those brushes you want, and that's fine. I know I did. I almost paid close to $100 for a Winsor & Newton brush, and then I was like, what the? No. The price jump is too crazy for those, and I know they're the best. I've been told. Well, I know they're the best only because an artist that I follow or enjoy said so. But that got nothing to do with me. He's a master at it. Like, what am I gonna do? And then I'm gonna sit here with a brush that's worth. That's something else, right? That's value is more than the paint or the canvas that I use. Like, what the heck? I always use this expression, or this saying, even mostly to myself, about using what some would consider lower than average or low priced equipment or tools. Or there's a dude or a dudette out there that paints with manure. Okay. That's it. And I'm like, well, I guess these brushes ain't that bad. And that's a fact. There was years ago about this goober out in the fields grabbing cow patties and painting and selling them. So, we are creatures of habit and comfort. Find the one that makes you feel good, makes the line that you want, that allows you to be expressive. It's really it. You know? And just know that there's never going to be a point where somebody's going to look at your art and go, hot damn, that's some great flat brushwork right there. Okay? So use your fingers, use a tissue, use a whatever you got. Toothbrush. We use toothbrushes to do splatters. Reminds me of a scene from the film 100 Foot Journey, though they were talking about spices, not paint. Yeah. That's why I try not to recommend paper. Guys, we've seen all the videos, the top 10, the top 5. I may have done one also. Equipment to use, but it's so subjective, right? It really is, and there's nothing against that. But I can't afford some of the stuff that you have. I can't use the canvases that you got. So because we all can't be the same, and we shouldn't be, I try not to do that. What kind of paper you use? I use everything. And each one has a good quality and a bad quality. I wouldn't paint on printer paper, but I'll draw the heck out of it. It's still useful. I fell into the trap of buying arches early, spent a lot of money. I've only used one sheet of my arches. Block. I got two of them. Because we evaluate, we associate price with good. It's kind of terrible to think that way, man. I'm like in the realization, like, oh brother, as an artist that has to deal with pricing our own artwork, then becomes a question about self-worth. No, man, I just want to paint. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I apologize. I'm going to call you Sridget. Says true. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. I should use it. I should use it and just do stick figures on it just to get it out of my head. I have two beautiful. Okay. Look at that. Brand new. Maybe one sheet I used? I can't even remember. Pure cotton. I just can't seem to draw on it. It has a weird texture, the cotton. I might have to use really light pencils. Jay Neer, have a fantastic rest of your day, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is another one. Ooh, I think I did try to draw something there. You guys see the face? There's eyes here. Nose, mouth. I wonder what the hell I was trying to draw. Oh, my face, obviously. Oh, you guys bought the arches also? You guys used it yet? It's hard, right? It is horrible to draw on. Oh man. I think the cotton, it's like the pencils don't adhere to it enough. it was one of those things that I remember early on, and we go through all of these. Yeah, that hot press is expensive though. Even that one is expensive. Um, it was one of those things. It's the advice given to young artists, man, and I don't want them. I don't want them to feel the way I feel about that. Now I'm so like disenfranchised about it. I don't want to touch it. And I want to touch. I don't want to use. I want to use it now in spite, but then I can't. I can't bring myself to do it. It's such a weird. It's so weird. I really do wish these round brushes. If you guys have any recommendations on stiffer brushes, you let me know. It'd be nice. It'd be dope. Well, I bought those arches when I was doing watercolor. So I thought it was gonna help me then, but then again I couldn't draw very well on it. It wouldn't hold the pencils. So I'm an artist, pencil artist first, and if I can't do that, then I just felt already behind the 8 ball. This isn't too bad. I'm digging the way the paint breaks. I wonder if I'll be able to paint like this. The only way I think that it'll be successful if I paint like this with the brush is if my colors are too early. And maybe that'll give me the kind of like pencil, what is the word I'm looking for? That pencilly rendered look. Pencilly? I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. Ah, thanks, Timma. Thanks. Thank you, I appreciate that. And it's something that, because I enjoy it so much more than anything else, that painting over it really always feels like a trial. Painting over my pencils always feels like a trial. I don't know why. Well, I think I know why, but I just don't know why I've had that feeling. Alright, I think we dry up here enough. But my desire to paint and get better at painting is superseding my desire to retain my pencils. All right, let's see if we can get a little. This playlist, DW, is I created. Oh, there we go. This is the AI debate. I created a soundtrack. This is from Sono. And I know what people are gonna say, but the reason you went on to Sono was so that I can use music for my live streams that wouldn't get copywritten or copywritten stricken. Is that a word? Copywritten stricken? Bars. So yeah, I'll share it if you want to listen to some of this crap. Some of it helps big time. I am I believe in the soundtracks of life and soundtracks of creation. The story I'm writing has to do with a very specific time, very Sumerian era, barbarian era type of deal. Not completely, but in that sense. So I created a soundtrack of that type of music, very Conan-esque, and it has helped. It does help. Guys, my namesake, I think is more of a personality trait to me. This really is how I am all the time. So the music reflects what I would really be jamming to. Did we do enough here today? So I'm actually going to do another stream later on this afternoon. I'll probably be here for another 15 minutes. And I think the one this afternoon will be more of a freeform. If you guys jump on, I'll probably still be working on this. So if you want to ask more questions about the process or anything, reference, work, that's what these Wednesday streams are for. More of a, I know I called it a workshop, but it's more of like a talk shop. You know what I'm saying? We're just sitting around a table, enjoying our company, talking about art. But I wanted to be a bit more specific and just not just a string of consciousness, which already happened. I wanted to take a quick break here and let you guys, just like I guess you would do acrylic, is how I'm layering now, using a lighter color. And sometimes you could just use the same color. And as you layer it, it will increase in that pigment, in that truer pigment. So the more you do it, what I like about gouache when it does that is it adds these layers of depth to what you're drawing, or drawing, to what you're painting. It doesn't seem cookie cutter. It doesn't seem that type. It seems more organic. It's a look that I'm trying to emulate from Simon Beasley and Glenn Fabry and Mark Teixeira. These very organic looking paintings, and they're oil painters. I think Teixeira is definitely an oil painter. I don't know if I think Simon and Glenn Fabry use acrylic. So that's kind of like the challenge that I'm dealing with. Oh, come on over. Appreciate you, man. Corazones, man. He said not like that though. Friends. Like what's the expression we used to say as kids? I love you like a play cousin. Like a second cousin. I appreciate you, Omar. Hey, but I watched some of your show yesterday. Are you gonna be what's the word I'm trying to find here? Adapting your channel? I see it evolving, brother. But thanks, man. But yeah, these Wednesdays can be shop talk. If I'm drawing something, what I want these days to be more kind of like just open door policy. Stop me what I'm doing. Why did you shade it like that? What's going on? What are you thinking? I want that to be kind of like the brother, I haven't seen you in a grip. You made me pause for a second. Hold on, guys. I appreciate you, Gemma. Thank you for swinging through. I can't wait to see your next one. I know you got some amazing watercolors coming down the pipe. I am subscribed. I am notified. So when that is ready, I will try to be there. I know the world will tell me. I'm gonna try to be there for you. And thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it. Always. I'm glad the little one is doing good. I hope you guys are doing good. But all right. So yeah, take care. I'll see you soon. Absolutely. Muchito taquitos. You don't know how long you can stay due to screen time, but with your girlfriend for her birthday, and you just did you did race carts. Thanks, man. That's what's up. Say happy birthday to your girl. That's hilarious. Have some fun, man. What are you doing texting me, man? But I appreciate it. So yeah, so shop talk. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of like trying to establish here with these Wednesday streams. Workshop, talk shops, demonstration, that type of deal. I don't intend to gatekeep. So hold me accountable to that. Hold me accountable to that. Ask me. If I know it, I'm going to share it. So because what's the point? What's the point? I can't take it with me. Man, them legs came out nice. I might have to darken this, but I'm gonna. He's in green camo. I think the next thing I'm gonna have to try to find is the green camouflage for these guys, these khakis, because I don't want them to blend into or conflict with the green from the Hulk here. So I'm gonna keep painting on the leader there. I'm trying to use up what I have here as much as humanly possible before I start blending in or adding more green or adding a new color or new palette, because it looks like the rest of this is going to be greens, purples, maybe not so much blue. If anything, I might just use a different palette just to preserve those colors, and I can use them. I'm drawing, I keep saying drawing, but I guess that's kind of like what my mind's at. I'm trying to just mimic some of the undercarriage of the leader's ship, but I just noticed that if he's shooting these lasers, I might need to add, keep some of this clean. I hope you have a good day today. I hope you, sir, and your girlfriend have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for swinging through, man. I appreciate you. You didn't have to, but I thank you. Sincerely, thank you. And tell your girlfriend to subscribe and like and to share with her friends. Tell her I draw cute stuff too, also. But thank you, man. Have a fantastic rest of your day. All right. The leader's all the way back here, so I don't need to be that. I'm just gonna fill in this blue. That is debris. That is not debris. There's red in there, and there's green. Omer says, watercolor my McGraw. Dang girl, 1.5K. That was quick. That's for subbies? Yeah, man. Tama puts in that work. She's an amazing painter, man. Amazing. Tema has that energy that and I think it has to do the way she handles her faith and the way she handles her job, the way she helps people. It just feels like you're chilling with your sister. Her videos and her live streams always feel welcoming and just chill. Super chill. So I'm gonna have to how's the meowing bundle? What? What? You lost me, man. Listen, handle your date, bruh. Because I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about watercolor by McCraw. She was just here in the chat. She does watercolor paintings. What is this? It's so funny on the my cat. She's doing good. She's doing good, and the little one is doing good. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised. Don't call her, dude. I know she's deaf, but I don't want her meowing. I don't want her meowing right now. Don't be meowing. I know it's difficult to see. Let me see if I can boost this. It kind of works. This probably is not going to work. That's just going to be a weird angle. I'm just going to try to... I'm using a very light blue to give glint and highlight to see if I can manipulate this thing to look distant. I think that's the amazing versatility about of gouache. I can't say if it's better than any other. It's just worked for me, for I guess for the style that I've developed. Nah, I don't think so. Um, it does. Some of the things that I do with it makes me wonder if I would have been successful with acrylic if I would have stuck to it. But I don't lose sleep over not using acrylic anymore. I never said it before. I think they've ruined what's his name? Tim Blake Nelson's return as the leader in that Falcon Captain. What is it? Captain. I was gonna call him Captain Falcon. The Captain America movie with Mackie with the Falcon. It could have been done so good. Anyway, I'm a nerd. So the fact that he didn't call himself the leader was upsetting. To bring up old crap, the fact that Thor never said Ultron would have words with thee was annoying. I do think the payoff to Avengers Assemble was great. Good at like 12. Oh, it's 2 hours. So, party people, I am gonna let the music play me out. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Wednesday. I will be back later on this afternoon. I will probably still be working on this thing. Why not? We'll see how it goes. A freeform Wednesday. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for this inaugural episode of Talking Shop. What is it? Workshop. What is it? Whatever you guys want it to be. But yeah, at any chance, when I'm doing something on a Wednesday, you ask all the questions you need to. If you have them, we'll figure them out together. I gotta show you guys the ginormous Galactus painting I'm working on. It's only the drawing so far, and I think I've intimidated myself to continue it. Ike, I'll see you later, brother. Thank you for coming through. Give me a second, y'all. So, I got this okay, it won't even fit in here unless I change the angle. It is my my what if Galactus. What if Magneto was Galactus? That's what this is. Boop, 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 boop. Full screen. Can we see that? Giant 18 by 24. I got some more pencil details to go in there. Knock that out. What else? We got Doom to paint. I just a wash on him. We'll finish that soon enough. Depending how quickly I can do this, we will do it next week. I'm not really in a rush. I'm actually trying to work on a bunch of different things all at the same time. Seeing if my brain can do it before it melts. Because why not? So, yeah, I don't mind that. If you guys don't mind all the different type of things we'll be working on, I don't mind either. It goes Doom. An old Chitara piece that I tried to put gesso and acrylic. I'm going to re-add the acrylic on this. So, what else we got? We got Rogu. I'm trying out these woodless Arteza graphite pencils. They're pretty awesome, to tell you the truth. I just don't like how much they smear. I'm a smearing type of dude because I put my hand on the page. But I like the face. It's very Arthur Adams-like. The body's a bit exaggerated. Very Adam Hughes. Anybody know what's going on with Adam Hughes, man? Can we pray for his health? I hope he's doing all right. The last time I heard from him, heard about him, he wasn't doing very well. But that's all right. I think I drew it too big. But that's all right. I'm just messing around with these pencils yesterday. I had nothing else to do and mess around with. I will be doing some comic book stuff for X-Men 97 because I'm a nerd. I'm going to do a 2-page spread cover style for X-Force 97, which was Jubilee, Sunspot, Cable, Archangel, and Psylocke. So stick around for that later on. But yeah, that's it. So music's going to play. Have a fantastic rest of your day, guys and gals. I'll see you later. This Arts at a Round Table. My name is Mello. God bless you. I love you. Mean it. Until then, I will draw you later. Bye-bye.